Ciao, barbecue time again. Some friends are coming around later and I'm going to show you how I make some skewers which will be made with some marinated chicken and some sausages. But I will marinate the chicken first, and in this part I'm going to show you how I prepare my marinade, and then later on this afternoon I'll show you the rest. I will be using 4 different herbs, a generous amount of parsley which I've just picked, all of this is fresh from the garden I should say, parsley, a couple of leaves of sage, this is thyme and a little mint. Ideally, if you can get hold of fresh parsley and fresh sage is better, but you can also use the dry stuff for the purpose of thyme, and also mint. I'm not sure if you can you get dry mint, Julie?
Yeah.
Yeah, mint must probably be okay dry as well, but if you can get everything fresh, it's even better. And to start my marinade, I will make a pesto first, and I'm using a carving knife, and gently I'm going on top of all of my herbs and start making them small by chopping them. This marinade will serve 2 purposes. I will be using exactly the same marinade for both the skewers. I'm making some skewers, I'm not sure if I say that, but also I will be using it for the vegetables. So one mix for both the vegetables and the meat. What I do, by the way, as a technique, I put my left hand at the end of the blade and gently push it, and then I use my right hand to do the other movement, and it's incredibly easy. And as you get more practice, you get faster and faster, although speed is not the essence here.
Or, as I always offer, you could pop it in a machine and give it a whiz.
Yeah, but that's not as fun.
We've got gadgets in the kitchen you could use to do this.
But not everybody's got machines.
It would come out more, it would come out, I hate to use the word mushy, but yeah.
Mushy, yeah. But also, one thing that I need to remember, not everybody's got a machine, so like this is more accessible to people. So that is the herbs done, and I'll put them in a little bowl. I'm going to add a clove of garlic. This is an optional ingredient, especially if you don't like garlic, but we love it here, and it will add a lovely flavour to my pesto, but again, you don't have to add it if you don't like garlic. As I mentioned, this pesto will serve 2 purposes, so I'm going to be fairly generous with my olive oil so that I've got enough for both meat and vegetables. This is red wine vinegar.
Not so generous with that.
Not so generous with that, but enough to make it nice and tasty. And I'll finish with some salt and pepper. Easy with the salt, but you can be a little bit more extravagant with the pepper. And I'll go in with a spoon and mix it all together, and it's looking very nice already. And I'll marinate the chicken next. I've got here some chicken breasts, which I've just actually purchased from the supermarket. And I want to have these in fairly large chunks, so I'll cut them in half first. And I'm cutting them roughly about 1 inch each piece. Make sure that you use a nice sharp knife when you do these jobs, because believe it or not, a sharp knife is far safer than a blunt one. I'm moving the chicken in a bowl, and I will add approximately half of my marinade. I will add a little bit more olive oil, as I can see that I'll need more later. And I'll mix everything together. I'm using my hands. I love doing jobs like this with my hands, and because also I make sure that the marinade covers the entire surface of the chicken. So this is ready to go in the fridge. I'll put the lid on so that it doesn't create any smell in my fridge, and I will leave it in the fridge for most probably about 3 hours in my case, because I'm not going to need it until later this afternoon. But if you're strapped for time and you want to make this recipe, at the least give it a half an hour, 45 minutes, enough to marinate and for the chicken to get some of the lovely flavour. This one, I will also put the lid on, and I will put it on my worktop in the kitchen until I'm ready to do the vegetables. So, see you in a few hours. Arrivederci. And I'm back, nearly there. I will be getting on with the skewers in a moment, but before I do that, I'll show you what I do with my vegetables. I have peeled and chopped some potatoes in very small pieces, and I've got one more to do, so I'll show you what I do. Literally, like macro chips almost, because I want them to cook relatively quickly. Yeah, this is the sort of size that I will be making. And I'll go and cover this with water, and I'll boil them indoors, but I will only be boiling them 3/4 there, because they will be partly boiled, partly cooked I should say, and then I'll finish cooking them on the barbecue with the rest of the vegetables. And the potatoes are done, as I said, 3/4 of the way, and They're cooked. Also what I did, I quickly put them in water, in cold water, so that they stop cooking, and then drain them. And they're nice and cool now, they can be touched. I'll start by pouring them in a big, nice bowl. I've chopped a red onion, a white onion, a red pepper and 1 carrot, all in relatively small pieces. And also here I've got 3 cloves of garlic. And I'll add everything as it is to my potatoes. Back to my marinade, and I just add it in to cover everything. You will remember me saying that we'll need more olive oil, and this is when I'm going to be adding it. Oops, don't do that if you can avoid it. And, go in and mix everything, ideally with your hands really, because it's difficult otherwise. This is an old cast iron pan, skillet I think it's called, and I'm going to add everything inside it. And I'm going to keep the bowl, as I will be marinating them once again once they come out of the barbecue, so that they will retain a lot of flavour.
And then that's ready to go on the barbecue.
And this is now ready to go on the barbecue, yes. My barbecue is on. I'll just simply place it inside it. And I will let them cook at a temperature of approximately 150 to 160 degrees. They will cook for good, most probably 30 to 35 minutes, but I will get on with the skewers next. These are large sausages, larger than the average sausage in the UK, and they are with fennel and chilli as a flavour.
And they are delicious.
They are, yes.
Since we found them, we've got a real thing for them.
Bearing in mind I'm doing skewers, I want to make sure that they are not too small, otherwise they will fall off. And the best way to cut sausages when you're doing these jobs is with scissors. You could try with a knife, but I think this is far easier and neater. And I'm ready to make the skewers. Here I've got some lovely fresh bay leaves. We've got a massive tree in the garden and they are beautiful. I will also be using peppers again. I've got a green pepper and a red pepper which I have chopped in small pieces. A couple of red onions, sausages which you've already seen, and here is the chicken which has been marinating in my fridge for hours. I've made one and it looks pretty good. I'm going to show you what I do. There isn't a rule or a law in this, by the way, so do not worry. But once you start, try and stick to the same sort of technique.
The same order.
Same order, yes.
I'm actually quite religious about it when I make mine, but...
Yeah. So I started with pepper, followed by a piece of chicken, onion, then I go with my bay leaf, sausage. I'm going in from the inside of the sausage, by the way, which I think is going to be easier. And I'll start again, but this time to give it a bit of a vibrant colour, I'll go with a different colour pepper. So off he goes with the green. Oops, no, it's easy to get it wrong, but it doesn't matter if you do. It's chicken next, followed by onion again, bay leaf and sausage. And I'll carry on until I run out of ingredients. So I'll see you in 10 minutes. And here they are, they're all done. I've made 6, all kind of the same, hopefully, plus a little diddly one with everything left over, so that will be an extra one. Let's go and put them on the barbie. However, before we start, let's take a look at the vegetables and the potatoes. I'll just go along and give them a quick shimmy with my spatula. They smell good.
They smell really good.
Perfect. And in they go, my skewers. I'll make a little space and I'll turn them occasionally, but they should take approximately maybe 15 minutes, 20 minutes. I'll have a look and I'll let you know. We will be also doing some ciabatta bread on the barbie. So this is the marinade left from the vegetables. Brush, quick go on both sides of the bread. And this is ready to go on the barbie, but maybe 5 minutes before the end. Let's have a look at the skewers. I tend to dislodge them slightly with my spatula first, so they're easy to turn, and literally just turn them around. And while I'm at it, I'll do another little mix of the vegetables and potatoes. They're nearly done, by the way. And time for the bread to go in. This will not need long, literally 3-4 minutes per side, and then it will be done. Time to turn the bread over. literally 3 minutes, and if you look, they got a lovely golden color underneath, and you also can see the signs of the griddle. Beautiful. My guests have arrived and they're looking, and they are beginning to get a bit hungry. Literally 2 minutes, my bread is done, and I'm moving it away from the fire so it doesn't burn. Remember the glass bowl with all of the lovely marinade? They go back inside. And mix it all together so that all of the lovely marinade covers the entire surface of your vegetables. Julie's just pointed out that this is the best bit, and she's absolutely right. I wasn't going to throw it away, but
no, never.
Not such a thing. And in they go. And I think the skewers are done. Way to check, by the way, is locate one which has got a large piece of chicken, put a knife through, and as you can see, the juices are lovely and clear, and that means that they're done. Do not obviously undercook them, but do not overcook them either. Like this is perfect because they'll be lovely and moist. Wonderful, we are indoors and we are ready to eat. Here is the plate full of skewers, looking absolutely gorgeous. My bread and potatoes. We will have some olives and some coleslaw which Julie made. I'm not going to taste them because my guests are here, and but they all smell hungry. And we are hungry, but they all smell absolutely delicious. Hopefully, if you make any of them, you might want to let me know, and if you do make them, hopefully you enjoy them. Ciao, ciao. See you later. Thank you.